from Long Island, New York, where the weather is iffy. A little iffy rain, a little iffy clear weather. It was sunny, it was rainy, it kept changing its mind throughout the day. The Dow did not change its mind, neither did the other indices, as we had another new high day today. All the indices except the IWM were up, were I think at record-breaking highs or close. The IWM has a little catching up to do, but had the best percentage move of the day to over 162, I believe. We're going to look at the chart of the IWM, and we're going to look at more charts on Friday night. And basically, tonight I want to wish everyone a very, very happy Thanksgiving. It's the one day where I give you permission to eat as much as you want. I'm not going to be one of those party spoilers who says, don't eat, watch what you eat, or don't eat too much. I hate that for Thanksgiving when I want to eat too much. I want to eat too much on Thanksgiving, so I intend to. I fully intend to. Alexa had a bunch of Thanksgiving jokes, and I'm going to repeat one of them. It's not really a joke, but it's worth repeating maybe. And that is, the only thing I don't like about Thanksgiving is that 2 days later and you're hungry again. Nah, but probably not worth repeating. Okay. As always, for your own due diligence, my opinions are strictly my own and do not constitute investment advice. The biotechs are heating up. We have takeover rumors galore, and amrn, in clvs, in acad. These stocks are, well, not flying, but there's big speculation on all of them as to buyout rumors. And other biotechs are starting to move as well. The gene editing stocks and the RNAi stocks are all doing fairly well. What is it? ALNY broke 100 and actually almost hit 120. I don't know if it did or not. Very close. I own some of that. My original target was 100. My new target was 120. But I think I forgot to take the profit today. I can always take profits Friday. It's not going away. And my other nice moving biotech is ARWR. Spike, thanks for the advice, where I sold 40% of my RWR at 40. I think we're well above that. Keeps going up to new highs every single day. Looks like that one's heading to 100. Let me just go through some of the closing prices of stocks that are interesting. I'm not going to be able to chart that many, so I want to go through some of the lists. Voyager is one of mine that has disappointed. It closed at 1381, up 9 pennies on the day. Biotech itself has rallied tremendously. The IBB has been going up leaps and bounds every single day. Let's see what it is today. IBB. IBB is a larger biotech, it's an index, but it represents all the biotechs really. 119.39. Wasn't that long ago, is below 100. So that's had a nice little run. The IWM 162.83, up 0.71% on the day, $1.14. That's a nice little run. So I'm gonna chart that first, and then we'll chart maybe a pot stock and a biotech stock. And I didn't mention the pot stocks in a while because they've been disappointing. But Curlf, I think, is emerging as a bright star. I think it's going to do very well in my portfolio. I have every confidence Kronos and CGC will come back and come back strong. Amazon is beginning to act like the big boy that it really is, that we all know it is. When in doubt, buy Amazon. I've been saying that all along, and I'm still saying it. If in doubt, buy Amazon. I don't think there's too many doubts, but there are some. All right, let's get to the share screen. Geron is, of course, one of my favorites. Tremendous potential, but it's not around the corner. That's the problem with it. With its anti-telomerase drug, telomerase inhibitor, imetelstat. We haven't mentioned OncoSec in a long time. I'm going to get around to that one eventually. Take another look at that. Advaxis is another one that's been volatile, shooting up from 30 to the 40s, jumping around like a jelly bean. Very good trading stock. We will take another look at that. All right, so what I want to look at now is the Dow Jones or the IWM. Let's see what we look at first. Dow Jones has been a beautiful call of mine. I've been calling for 30,000 plus for over a year now, when it was very, very, very low at 24,000. So it's moved up quite a bit from the 24,000 level to the 28,000 level. 28,164 to be precise. Up 42 points. I don't know if that's a new high. Take a quick look, see if it is. If it isn't, it's close. I think it is. Yesterday's closing high, 28,146. So we're higher than that. Looks like a new all-time high on the Dow. And I'm continuing to look forward to continued growth on the industrials, following the lowest sloping trend line. We're now out of that zoom range, but we're into a more modestly rising trend line. So with this slope, I think it'll continue. It'll continue on up to 30K plus before any kind of correction, other than, minor 2 or 3%. So you always have to allow for that. Let's look at the IWM. The IWM made a new high, a relative high, not an absolute high. The absolute high is about 11 points higher, or 7% more. I think that 7% will be easy victory by the end of the year. So as the indices rallied, I think this one will rally the most. So let's look at the weekly. Get a better picture of the highs. So the high was made back in August 2018, and that was 173 and change. Yeah, that we should take that out. 11 points, no problem. So we should have very little problem taking that high out. In fact, there's no real resistance to be found. We've taken out all these highs. So maybe a little pullback to the middle of this green candle and then up again. So Friday, I have a feeling, could be a little profit taking where the IWM comes back down a little bit. Good opportunity to get in for the 8% run to new highs. That's what I think is going to happen. All right, let's take a look at some of the better performing biotechs over the last few weeks. amrn is one of them. Amrn was under attack by shorts. It seems to have survived it. Oppenheimer's $7 ridiculous call. Okay. It hasn't done much the last 2 days. The last 2 weeks, actually. It's still a weekly. Let me get into the daily. Better to look at the daily for this one. Okay, so we made the highs back here on the 15th of November, 2467. We made a higher low. This is a much higher low because the last low came back down here on 11.5 at 16 and change. So we from that 16 and change, we ran to 24 and change, and now we made a higher low at 1910, and now we have a lower high at 2177. So we're in a little bit of a corrective mode. I suppose it's possible we come down to, let's say, this level here at 1892. That's certainly possible. It's also possible to correct all the way to the 200 at about 1810. So we're in a little bit of a give back mode with this pattern. One more lower low, and we're in a short-term bear market. So I expect that it might test the waters below it before resuming its upward trend and ultimately a takeout. That's what it's all about with amrn. When they get the approval for the label expansion on the 28th of December, they will be automatically worth a lot more money if they get everything they asked for. So a lot depends on the exact wording of the label expansion by the FDA. And it is possible that they sell before that. So I'm thinking that it is more than possible that they sell before the 28th. Let whoever buys them deal with the FDA. And I've seen that before with Biotech, before major decision, that they actually sell to big pharma and sometimes get royalties on the sale of the drug moving forward as part of the deal. And the individual shareholders do as well. So that would be sweet if we get let's say a Pfizer takeout at 36 with checks in the mail should we meet certain milestones in sales on Vascepa. Okay, so amrn, a little bit of a downtrend, nothing too serious. It could be over by today. I mean, it's possible this trend line down here holds. Let's take a look. The more optimistic position is that we're going to move up right from here. And why not? It certainly has given back enough. The thing is, when you have this pullback, it usually completes it with a lower low. So that's also possible. And then we'll move forward. Okay, let's take a look at what's another good one that's been moving up a lot. So many. ARWR. ARWR is shooting up. I mean, it's not just moving up, it's shooting up. I expect it's very possible to pull back to the 63 level if you're looking for an entry point on its run to 100. This one looks like it wants to go to 100. Yes, 100. So very positive on ARWR. Geron, we haven't looked at that in a while. Geron is in a little bit of a, well, it's coming out of the bed. Had a little bit of a bear run down to a low of 11.18, $1.24. Made a new high, made a high on 2 days later at 139, and then a higher low 2 days later, and now we're working on another higher high. So we're going to back into the bull market for Geron. We're going to have to take out what will become resistance at $1.43. So we take that out. We'll probably test the 200, which we've been testing all along. And we haven't been able to make a solid break of the 200. So to get really bullish on Geron, we need to get separation between the price, between the candle and the 200 to get really bullish on Geron. I'm bullish Geron long term, but short term, it looks quiet. Looks like there's more exciting things to be in. Let's take a look at CVM, which we're all waiting on news. News being the event number, what is it, 298? I should know that number by heart. Okay, so we made a higher high finally a few days ago on 11/20 of 8.25, and now we made a low yesterday at 7.26. So let's see where we're going. Do we take this 8.25 out? I believe we do. So I think we've made our low, and from here we move up. We move up above the 50-day moving average, and we take out the 8.25. Next target would be the high of 10.15, which is 9.16. So I see a move into the $9 range upon taking out 8.25. That's how it looks to Dr. J. Very bullish CVM. Time is on our side. This is one of those rare stocks when, if you hear no news, that's good news, because the longer it takes for this trial to complete, the more likely the results will be spectacular. So we're paying the price right now in waiting, but I think we'll get paid off while we wait. So if it takes longer and longer, that is a lot longer than anticipated, I think we get to see the 11s, right? We get to make new highs. We take out the 9.93 high and move up to the $11 area before the data readout. So no news is good news. The way I see it, we can only drift higher. The only threat is dilution, and GERT is resisting that. So let's see how long they can go without diluting. That's the only threat that I see to the price. And even if they dilute if they need to raise capital and dilute a little bit, I think it'll be absorbed and we still move up, even though it'll be a pullback on the day of the dilution or a few days. All right, so very high CVM, very high amrn, very high ARWR. ALNY is doing it nicely. I can't chart everything. Not going to bother charting anything else because I want to look at the NFL games for tomorrow. And then I want to say good night and wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving, and see you all Friday at 7:30 for Dr. J, Spike, and Friends. The Bears at the Lions, 3.5 points, I believe, is the spread. I like the Lions in this game. Give me the points. I'm at home. Lions on Turkey Day. And the Bills at the Cowboys, Cowboys are 6.5-point favorites or something like that. I think that's what it is. I will take the boys from Buffalo to cover that spread. I'm not sure they win outright, but I think they make it really close game. Saints, Falcons. I think it's 7 points even on the Saints. This is a division game, a rivalry game. And I'm going to go Falcons with the points. So give me the 7. I'll take the 7 points and the Atlanta Falcons. So my picks are Lions with 3.5, Bills with 6.5, Falcons with 7. Hey, I picked all the underdogs. I could have said go dogs, but I didn't. All right, so let's take a look now at, by the way, the Cowboys had nothing to be ashamed of in their loss to New England. That was a valiant fight. And Jerry Jones threatening to fire all the coaches after that, I didn't like that one bit. I don't think that was warranted. Garrett is doing an adequate job. His players are doing a good job. They've been losing some really tight games. I think they're a very good team, but I think Buffalo is also a very good team, and we'll give them a tough time. That's why I'm going with them. I'm going to stop sharing screen. Okay, so this has been Dr. J, streaming live from Long Island, New York, wishing everybody a really, really happy Turkey Day. And eat as much as you want, plenty of stuffing. Make sure you get that cranberry sauce all over yourself. I'm going to be with a lot of family, which is good. And we're not doing the cooking, which is even better. And what can I say? I'll see you back here on Friday. Cheers.